Hello again, welcome back to Do It Yourself. Today we're going to talk about cleaning out our kitchens and keshering. We're cleaning out our kitchens for chametz. And again, back in our Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, there's a whole section, chapter 112, that talks about what kind of chametz it's allowed to keep and what chametz is not allowed to keep. Again, many of these rules come from a time when our lifestyle was much more agrarian and you were collecting grain, and if grain kernels sprouted and such, we don't have a whole lot to worry about with that. Basically, we're going to go through a kitchen and look for anything that's made with flour and yeast. Other rising agents should be separated as well. We just want anything you're not sure about, we're going to put in a box and we're going to put it away in a special cabinet that we're not going to open for the entire week of Passover. Okay, and that's gonna clear us of our ownership. Eventually, we're gonna sell the chametz to a non-Jew, and in this way, we're not gonna own any of the chametz that's in our house. Okay, so we'll go to the kitchen, we'll do a quick run through of what kind of products we should put away, and then we're going to take a look at the keshering process. So before we can cook any of our matzot, we have to make sure that all of the implements that we're using during the process have been purified of any chametz, and that they're going to be suitable for our baking purposes. All right? We'll talk more about that as we get there. Okay, so the next step in getting ready to make matzot is to clean your kitchen. First thing we need to do is we need to get rid of all the products that have chametz in it, or any kind of leavening or some sort of rising agent, right? So if we start, just open up our cabinets and get the stuff out. Unfortunately, two of my favorite beverages, scotch and beer, are chametz. So we got to put them away for the whole week. And after we put all these things away in a special spot, we're actually going to sell them. And I'll put a link on in the comments to explain how to do that. There's a very convenient way to symbolically sell all of our chametz. Pasta, goodbye. Flour, especially flour, goodbye. Let's see. Got this yeast, big no-no, it goes away. These are kind of like burrito shells. Yeah, I ought to put them away. And eventually what we have to do is put everything away, seal it up in a cabinet, and really, when we sell it, we cease to own it for the week. Now, it's kind of a symbolic sale where we buy it back at the end of the week, but really, it's out of our possession. We deny possession of this stuff. Now, I follow the Eastern or Mizrahi tradition. So for me, rice is still okay. But if your family is from the European tradition, the Ashkenazi tradition, they don't accept rice as a form. They reject rice as a form of chametz, and it also needs to be sequestered. So basically, going through the cabinets, looking for anything that might be a chametz, and if you're not sure, you should put it away, because basically the prohibition is whoever eats chametz or you can find chametz in their house that belongs to them, their soul will be cut off from their people. This is called keret. It's kind of a spiritual excision. I'm not really sure what that means, but it seems bad, so let's not have that happen. One thing to look for is maybe like on my wine here, I've got this kosher mark right here. And it also tells me in English right here, it says kosher for Passover. So that tells me it's okay. Also says so in Hebrew. Many products that are kosher will have a kosher mark. If they're kosher for Passover, they'll also have a kosher mark, and maybe they'll have like a K with a little P next to it, and that P is for Passover. So keep an eye out for that as you go through your cupboards and you clear them of your chametz. After you've done that, now you can start cleaning your surfaces and getting ready to make your matzah. Okay, I'm lucky enough to have a second kitchen, okay? And so my kitchen downstairs, I've already cleaned it out from all its chametz. It's all perfectly ready to go. What I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to boil my hot water that I'm gonna dip all my pots and pans and my silverware in. Right, I'm gonna take all these things and I'm gonna get this stuff into the hot water just for a moment, just to get it hot. And then I'm gonna dip it in the cold water back in my sink, and that's gonna kesher it. Right? Now the problem, there's a number of problems here, I prefer metal implements because there's no question. They go in the hot water and they're done. Glass, we don't really need to kesher because glass is perfectly smooth. Nothing gets inside any kind of cracks or anything. There's no pores. But you know, you can rinse it off with hot water. I'm gonna use this glass to deal with a different problem, the microwave. I don't use the microwave a lot. In fact, I almost never use the microwave, but it does exist. And there are a lot of problems with the microwave. Now, there is an opinion that if you have a microwave, you can put this glass of water in there and turn on the microwave, and once half of the glass of water has boiled away, then you can go in there and wipe out the microwave, and we're going to call that keshered. It is a very lenient position, and there are those who will oppose it, but it's one way to go about dealing with a microwave that still makes it usable. The other thing is just to seal up the microwave with a strip of tape and just not use it. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm gonna get all my metal implements in the hot water, and then I'm gonna take the hot water and I'm gonna pour it over the surfaces that I'm gonna use in the kitchen, so that when I'm ready to start baking my matzah, everything in this kitchen is in a state of purity for the making of the matzah. Now, this brings us to the final issue. Keshering for metal implements, for things that we're going to use to eat off of, is simple with the boiling water. Keshering an oven is not easy, especially in the modern era, right? The rule is, in order to kesher an oven, you need to bring it to a level of heat where it actually starts to glow and emit its own light, like red, dull glowing, right? This comes from a world where we had these super hot ovens that we could bake out of, where we could have stone ovens that would glow, or, you know, as another alternative, we could replaster the inside of an oven to cover up any possible chametz. That's not really a possibility with our ovens. I have an oven here that is not really baked in. We bake with the oven upstairs. So I know that I haven't used my oven for any other baking, so I can use that. Or we can make a fire outside and we can bake our matzot, our really thin matzot, on top of an open fire outside with a keshered grill, right? Those are a couple ways to deal with that. We'll get back to you once the water is boiling, and you can see how we just need to dip it in and keep on going. Okay, for those of you interested in keshering an oven, or a microwave, excuse me, first we got to take these guys out, and they're going to go into the pile of dishes that need to be dipped into the hot water. Now in here, I can just take my cup of water, fill it up, Not so easy one-handed. All right, fill it up. And once it's about halfway gone, I will consider this all steamed out and ready to get cleaned out for keshering purposes. We'll start with 3 minutes and just see how that goes from here. All right. Okay, so here instead is the oven that I don't bake regular bread products in, that I am going to use for my matzah. As we can see inside, everything's been kept pristine, right? Now the thing is I still want to kesher these plates and pans and grills and stuff, and I can do that by pouring hot water or over them or dipping them into the boiling water as much as possible. And so that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna get everything out and get it all ready for keshering in the hot water. All right, so there we go. And I can still give this a once over just to make sure that there's no bits of matzah in it from the previous year. At this point, my microwave is done. I've got, ooh, a little hot glass here. My glass is more than half empty. I'm gonna put that away. You can see I've got some water and stuff around here. And this is okay. This is perfectly ready for me to get in here and wipe it all out. We're gonna hope that any porous surfaces have been saturated and that here now, my microwave, according to the lenient position, will have been keshered. Again, a lot of this has to do with intention, that we're making an effort to do something here. Okay, now I've got my hot water going and I'm gonna start dipping some implements in here. I'm supposed to use some tongs or some things, so I got these ones here. And these ones are now keshered, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these other guys here. And you wanna be able to just let go a little bit to make sure that you get the hot water all the way in there. Okay, those guys are good. And more than anything else, I just wanna start the process. If I don't get the handle in that way, I should pour some handle on it, some hot water on it afterwards. And do that with the next guy here. Okay, so now you can see how much hard work it is separating all the chametz and getting your kitchen ready. Keshering is a long, involved process. Anyway, I'll put a link for the Chabad website where you can virtually sell your chametz, and yeah, you can click that and get that started at any time. There's a deadline before I think the 8th of April. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Well, we'll look at some other things regarding the Seder plate and get further closer to making our matzah. Happy keshering.